A 6 a.m. departure from Texas, getting rained in Janesville, Wisconsin, and an amazing formation flight with friends has led us into what's known as the busiest airport in the world for 1 week. We arrived Saturday morning, set up camp, and already have battled a couple of thunderstorms and seen our fair share of Oshkosh arrivals. To see our adventures in the days leading up to today, be sure to watch part 1 before continuing via the link in the description. This is day 4 of our trip. Airventure 2017 has officially begun.
We were kind of thinking that
our mornings at Oshkosh usually begin with a hot cup of coffee and a debrief of how everyone slept on their inflatable mattresses. Since we're already camping within the gates, we can walk into the grounds as early as we want, but the vendors don't open up their booths until 9 a.m. We started our day 1 by walking through the exhibitor hangars. The amount of exhibits and products to see amazes me every single year.
Explosions like a heartbeat. Yeah, my mind's keen, rushes of emotion. Now let's do it again. There's sweetness and adventure. Without a venture, TV's got your mind stuck on good reality. We are
My dad and I are like kids in a toy store at this place. And of course, we had to stop when we found all the new shiny engines in the Lycoming tent.
life is all on schedule, but dead's forever. I send my condolences to the side of the drive.
Even on opening day, it's truly amazing how many people storm the gates to attend day 1 of Airventure.
We can touch the sky.
All of these different technology companies put their own equipment in all kinds of different airplanes, and they completely deck them out. It's pretty cool seeing airplanes that would normally just be an ordinary old airplane, completely transformed in the cockpit.
Life's much more. So much more. We are so there's life's much more.
We did never really sit down to watch the Airshow, but I was stopped dead in my tracks when I saw one of my favorite airplanes doing aerobatics above, the Van's RV-8. We called it a day around 4 o'clock, and on our stroll back to the campsite, we kept stopping to gaze at something beautiful, whether it would be thunderous Warbirds flying overhead, or a P-51 Mustang taxiing right in front of us. There's really no place in Oshkosh where you can completely get away from the sounds of roaring airplane engines, and I love that. Although, base camp is a pretty nice place to get away from the huge crowds and kick back in a lawn chair next to your own airplane. And our view of the airshow is actually still pretty dang good from here. Since we've had a full day of fun in the sun, we're ready to relax for the rest of the day. So what better way to relax than to sit on the flight line again and watch takeoffs and landings. Golden hour is known to photographers as a time shortly before sunset and shortly after sunrise. The warm glow of the low sun makes for a beautiful scene, and the sea of reflective aluminum wings makes it so much more breathtaking. Opening day of Airventure is always a sensory overload, and we tend to wander aimlessly and look at things in random order because there's just too many places to go. We'll hit the sack and rest up for day 2 of Airventure 2017 tomorrow. There's an entire section of the airport dedicated exclusively to Warbirds, an area large enough for us to spend the entire morning gazing into history. We walked up just in time to see the T-6s firing up their radials to start the morning off right. You look at all these World War II aircraft, just sitting, and can't help but wonder what they've seen, what they've been through, and what stories they have to tell. Among the B-25 bombers, we found the Yellow Rose of Texas. This aircraft came from the same place as us. It's based in San Marcos, Texas, as part of the Commemorative Air Force's fleet. We ended up staying at Warbirds for a much longer time than just the morning, but we did a little bit of walking around afterwards. I didn't get much more footage from today, because sometimes I just need to get my face out of the camera's viewfinder and soak in the sights and sounds with my eyes and ears, so that's what I did. We called it a day in the late afternoon and headed back to our camp. Another day down, and 2 more to go until we head home. Today's weather forecast doesn't look the greatest, and that's really concerning everyone. Wednesday is the day of the first night air show. We'll just have to see how the weather pans out. But the first thing my dad and I wanted to do today was head down the main strip and look at all the big aircraft manufacturers such as Cessna, Beechcraft, and Piper. We haven't done that yet this year. With the rain behind us for now, everyone came out from under their cover again, including us. An impressive B-1 bomber and a UPS Boeing 767 sat, waiting to be admired by its spectators. We ended up leaving the grounds early to go have a good sit-down dinner with some close friends from our hometown. Then it was time to head back to the flight line for the night air show. The night air show is the big thing that I look forward to every single year. This is some of the most impressive flying and pyrotechnics I've ever seen, and it's like my first time seeing it every time.
Parachutes. They'll get either a very fast parachute or a much slower one. Some of the swoop chutes that we will see have an inherent forward speed of upwards of 40 miles per hour. Some of you may remember John Fokker's generally flies a two-shift. However, his current
This was definitely the shortest night air show I've seen before, and it was a big letdown to me because the night air show is my favorite part of the entire week. When the rain came, visibility and ceiling started dropping really fast, and Matt Youngkin's Beach 18 performance was cut short right after I stopped the camera. He made a turn away from the runway and disappeared into the clouds, and mere seconds later the announcer said that's it for the night air show. But I was glad that they still did a few fireworks and the wall of fire. And even though my dad and I got soaked along with the camera, we had a hell of a time together. Another day down, and one more to go. Our final days at Oshkosh are always bittersweet. We're ready to head home and sleep in a real bed, but we aren't ready for this dream to be over. We usually scramble around our last day to make sure we mark off everything on our list that we wanted to see. So today we took a stroll to the south side of the field, through the vintage airplanes to the ultralight field. After seeing a bunch of short takeoffs and landings at the ultralight field, we began our stroll back to the main showgrounds for one more walkthrough. We're absolutely beat. This has by far been my favorite Oshkosh, and I know my dad enjoyed it just as much. While we were off burning time watching ultralights, my wingman, James, aka Nugget, was laying under his airplane the whole time, writing down his thoughts about Oshkosh. My words can't even begin to express my sentiments about this place and these times that I get with my aviation family, but maybe his can.
'Twas the night before Oshkosh, and all through the air, not an airplane was stirring, not even a Corsair. The sky was so clear, the moon big and bright, hoping for airplanes at the dawn's morning light. The pilots were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of warbirds danced in their heads. With the radio playing, I laid down my head on the world's most uncomfortable inflatable bed. Somewhere over the airport, something made such a clatter that I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. The sounds were a roaring and rumbling noise, a powerful, thunderous excitement in poise. I flew to my tent door and unzipped the screen. I poked out my head and saw a wonderful scene. Dawn had welcomed a blue morning sky, a yellow horizon, and clouds way up high. I directed my thoughts to the sounds I had heard, the thunderous sounds from an old warbird. 2 P-51 Mustangs were buzzing the field, as if they were in battle, no caution to yield. They guarded a bomber, a B-17, as it flew through the air, it sparkled and gleamed. Now the day is beginning, time to go to the show, with me and all of my buddies in tow. All the exhibits are lined up with care, waiting for all of their customers there. The night is upon us. It's time to attend the North 40 party. It's such a godsend. The time is approaching for us to depart. We wake up so early to get a head start. We all make it home without incident, already dreaming about next year's event. Airventure is over. We all are so sad, but next year is coming, and that's not so bad. I can't wait to hear those words once again that bring some excitement to all airmen. Aircraft over Fisk, would you please rock your wings? Proceed to 27, the controller sings. Now we're on base to final, my yoke's firmly in hand, as we hear green and white Mooney, green dot, cleared to land.
Welcome to Oshkosh.
Here we are.
Why do we fly? Why do we spend 9 hours flying 900 miles in a small airplane in the heat of the summer? Why do we do any of this? I do it for the friendships and the camaraderie. I do it because it's my dream. We do it because it's our dream, and we followed that dream. Follow yours.